What the heck is going on, guys? How's everybody? Today we are going to be going over how to do the Red Thorne story quest. It's a main storyline quest. It is the one where the fairies come up and you kind of have to like run around a circular map and kill a bunch of like these like egg spider things, and you have to keep the girl alive who's trying to like do this like rune thing to like take away the darkness or whatever it is. So you're essentially just trying to keep her alive and stop the spiders from attacking her and have it be minimal amount of spiders attacking her. We are going to go over her skill, like the skills of the actual fairy a little bit later in this video. But for the beginning part where you are just trying to kill the eggs, what you want is you want to make sure you have Shushu for heals and immunity, and it's just an awesome support unit, probably the best in the game. And it is also relatively free to play because of secret dungeons. And then next, and the key to getting through the egg stage is going to be Bernard. He is going to give you movement speed up. So this is very, very important. And then also the other very, very, very important unit is going to be Tractor. This unit can be replaced with anything that AoE provokes. My personal preference, of course, is Tayor. He is who I would normally use, but I wanted to use Tractor in order to give you guys a free-to-play team, as well as you don't necessarily have to use Bernard. You could use the Water Harg. There's a few other people, but pretty much anyone who puts movement speed up, you can
only
use.
Him in the Water Harg.
Okay, sorry, only him in the Water Harg. But yeah, so pretty much Bernard. Bernard's a king. You need to build him for Seal anyway, again, or Water Harg. But yeah, so this is your team that you're going to want to go in with. So let's get into how I actually did it. So I have now done this on my Orbia, my Kina, and my Cleef. Cleef was by far the hardest because you can't shoot the eggs. You have to actually run to them. So here's just explaining what's going on. So it's talking about the protective crystal. It's talking about the red fog that's going to come. It's talking about the cocoons that you have to kill.
Oh yeah, that's what they're. Cocoons,
Cocoons, not eggs, yeah.
But spiders come out of them.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, but that's okay. So yeah, again, I just recorded the whole thing, so I probably should skip some bits, but we're not going to, because where's the fun in that? So yeah, this like red fog appears. I'm already getting my movement speed buffs going, because you need to like kill a couple eggs right away. I think it's like 3. So you're gonna use a move speed buff, and you're gonna hit your basic attack. I don't know why it wasn't working.
Oh, it's because this is like the tutorial phase.
Yeah, so I was just trying to like spam it. But yeah, and then it shows you that the spiders come out of the cocoons if you don't kill them. Oh, that's why you couldn't kill them. Yeah, sorry. I forgot about the tutorial part, which probably should have skipped this part, but that's fine. I'm sure y'all have been through this part enough. But yeah, so you kill the cocoons. So the main strategy was killing the cocoons. Obviously, we're going to talk about it more when we go on the major spree, when we have like 1 minute and 30 seconds. But you want to get close to the start of a pack, and then just keep hitting your basic attack, and your guy will like walk and hit every single one. And as you're doing that, you want to be spamming your movement speed buff from your Bernard. So as you guys can see, it's like a circular map. So what I tried to do is go up the vines the one way and then go around the circle as much as I possibly could. And as far as heading back, you can head back like right before the red fog starts. I head back a little early, just cause like I like didn't want her to die. But yeah, you can stay kind of out like as long as the red fog hasn't actually started. So like once it's like 4 seconds, 3 seconds, you want to make sure you head back and make sure your map awareness is relatively good. I got lost a couple times. It's kind of hard with the fog and stuff, but just keeping your map up at the top there will help you out a lot. So yeah, you go up these vines and then we'll actually get to see the action here of killing them. So you need to kill these as quickly as possible because the more that are there, the harder it is. So as you guys can see, I'm spamming my basic attack and spamming the speed buff. So when you get too far away, you need to walk. This is when I use my dash in order to get closer to the next pack. And then again, you guys can see I'm just spamming my basic attack, and we're going along and we're killing every single one. We're going to follow the circle. You do want to make sure you hit the speed buff thing as well. You guys can see I had 8 speed buff there for a sec, so I really got moving. But speed buff is definitely gonna be king here. Okay, I am gonna skip this next minute here. So that's just me walking around and killing every single one. So as you guys can see, I'm now back at the tower. You can just be like heading back here. You have about 5 to 10 seconds still. Now, the key here is you want to solely link your tractor for as long as possible. Eventually, you are going to need to heal, but you want to try to continuously provoke them as much as possible, which also is why tractor is a good option because his provoke is only 2 mana cost. I did kind of make a mistake here. You preferably want to fight a little closer to the first successor because as you can see, there is some guys that got away from me that weren't getting provoked and attacking her. So this is obviously not optimal. You can pass if you do this, but you want to try to be like on top of her as you can so that you're getting the provokes as close to her as possible. So any of the monsters that are close to her are going to attack your tractor instead of her. So this next part, I do the same thing for about a minute, so I am going to skip. However, the fairy does come up here. So what she does is she brings up a bunch of cocoons all around her. She continuously multiplies them. So for the first minute, I continue doing what we did in the first stage, walking around, hitting our basic attack and spamming our Bernard. And then at about a minute here is when I head over. I also make sure I have my alt. Hopefully you have it there as well with the shared skill points. Sorry, I always struggle saying that. Too many S's. It's a lot easier now too to complete this content on your alts because you can max out all of their skill points. So it's really awesome. I just pick up the speed buff as I go by because why not? Try to get there as quickly as possible. So as you guys can see, there's an absolute ton of these things, but I have about 30 seconds to kill them all. I have my alt. If I don't kill them all, it is not the end of the world, of course. However, preferably you want to kill them all. So I probably should have came over here a little bit sooner. I didn't quite kill as many as I would like. So I think I headed over at about 1 minute, maybe like 50 seconds. So maybe you want to make sure you're closer. But yeah, I was able to kill most of them. There's about 4 seconds left here, or like 0 seconds, sorry. But this is when I start heading back because I know I am nice and close. So the same concept is going to apply here. You want to stay as close to her as possible, doing your provokes and switching to your healer if you need to. So we're just going to watch through this. But yeah, it's pretty much just what I said, the provokes. It does get relatively close for me. This is probably the closest call I had, but Khalif is probably the hardest champion to do this on. I might have already said this, but because it's hard to get to the cocoons because you actually have to walk up to them. You can't shoot them. But yeah, so there's like 14 seconds here left of the fog. Oh, sorry, I apologize. This mission's so long. She's not almost dead yet. We're still doing real good. So this time is the fairy, so I go directly for her instead of going for the other stuff. We have a little bit less time this time as well. We only have about 1 minute and 15 seconds instead of 1 minute and 40 or so. The time gets less every time. And then I kill this one as I go by just because, of course, why not? So personally, on my main, I did kill her when this part happened. On my cleave, I found it way too difficult to kill her with the team that I had in. So I just focused on killing the cocoons. So if you are struggling with this boss, that is all I would focus on as well. Just kill her cocoons as she multiplies them and then deal with the spiders the best you can when they come. You want to make sure you're using your provoke and stuff then. So that's why the first stage is really key to kill as many cocoons as you possibly can, because that's kind of the first time that you have the option to do so. So if you have a bad run with your cocoon runs in the beginning, I would probably just restart. Like if you feel like you just didn't kill very many, you kind of like screwed up, you dashed backwards and did a bunch of stuff, then yeah. I did try to switch in my Azalea here because I was trying to kill her, but I just couldn't kill it on my cleave. So this time it is going to be a lot of guys, so this might be something that you guys have dealt with before. It is very difficult. It is hard to keep your provoker alive. Sorry guys, kept running into the wall there. But again, you guys can see I was able to get back here in time even though I left super late. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see her health bar because I'm right on top of her, but she gets pretty low here. My tractor, I did find Tayor to be much better for this. They are wind, right? So that is kind of an issue with the water provokes. You could always use the wind penguin knight as well. I just don't really have him built because I have like tractor and Teor and stuff for AoE provoke. But the wind penguin, penguin knight, yeah. He would actually probably be the best for this because they are wind guys.
Or the fire kung fu panda.
Oh yeah, the fire panda. Yeah, we actually, we had a banner for him. So you guys can see why healing is important. You can see our girl there, she is very low. I'm switching my tractor even though he is low because I really don't want her to die. Because of course, if she dies, then it is over. You guys can see her health bar is at a sliver there. My cleave was the hardest, as I said, but we are able to keep her alive. And then at this point, once it's finally dead, then comes like the boss stage. So you actually get a save checkpoint here. And what I recommend you do here actually is quit and like take a deep breath or do your thing, you know, maybe let your phone cool down if you're doing it on mobile, but take a quick break and then you're going to want to switch your team. So I was going to switch in and then I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to quit and take a breath. So this, I want to talk about this. Okay. Sorry. So the first one's just a basic attack, of course. So her first skill here, it just like applies attack speed down, which is actually a problem because it doesn't 100% explain it, but it seems like you need a certain amount of attack speed in order to do any damage to her at all. So it says, it puts the attack speed down and it does a decent amount of damage as well. And yeah, the next skill here, it says it drops a light. Oh man, I went so fast.
It doesn't even say that skill puts attack speed down.
It did
it says it in the description, but then like in the skill it doesn't actually do it.
I don't know, they're missing. The description here is not great because it actually took me a few times to understand what was going on because on my main I didn't really have a problem, and on my Kina it was a little difficult, but I didn't see it as much. On my Cleef I had a big problem. So yeah, anyway, so this one here, it just puts unrecoverable, and it just like attacks a random enemy. And then her last skill here is it puts a big shield on her for 7 seconds, and it summons a bunch of minions, which are really annoying, and you have to kill, which like, oh, maybe you don't have to kill them.
I think that's the one that summons her clone.
No, it summons a bunch of little guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe they're like little clones, I don't know. But yeah, and then here, so it says bosses are immune to most CC effects, of course, including skill up, skill deceleration, blah, blah, blah. Cooldowns exist as well. And then there's this last part here, if you go to strategy tips, and it's going to kind of explain like what you need in order to beat the boss. If I ever click on it. Sorry guys, this is like a B-roll video. Oh, what? Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so it talks about like the red fog and the cocoons and stuff, right? And then here it says boss info. So it talks about that you need to remove harmful effect or immunity, of course, because of the poisons and stuff. So that's why you're gonna bring Shushu. And then it says oh my goodness, sorry guys. So I shouldn't use B-roll footage. But it says here at the bottom, it says using monsters with high attack speed will effectively defeat the Pharrell's clones. So that's kind of your indication there that you need a monster that has high attack speed. So what I did when I reset my team was I put in Shushu, Bastet, and Cassie. Bastet is going to help my Cassie do more damage and as well as just give me a little bit of survivability with shields. Shushu, of course, for the poisons, the immunity, and the heals. And then Cassie has relatively high attack speed. I think I have her at about 185. It's pretty slow, but she does a lot of damage and she does the job. If you don't bring Cassie or someone like Cassie, so Karambit, maybe Theo if you have him on a speed build, if you don't bring someone with high attack speed, it's like literally impossible. I don't know why, but the shield just won't drop. It doesn't really explain anywhere why that is. But yeah, so you do want to make sure you're still killing the cocoons, of course, when they come up. But as you guys can see, I already brought the shield down on her. Also, as well, a little tip, you want to make sure you bring up your target menu bar. It took me a while to actually get on what I wanted to get on, but once you get onto one of them, you can pin them to the top of your target thing. Oh, and also, sorry, you have to wait for the fog, too, before you can, like, really attack them, I found. Again, I think it depends on how much damage you're doing, because you might find on your main it's super easy, but on your ults it's hard. So then once the fog appears here, we kill the cocoons again, and we can finally attack her. So once I get on her here, eventually I pin her. But yeah, we have about 30 seconds of the fog, and I found I could, with Cassie, attack them pretty much the whole time. Cassie is also going to help get through that shield that she does proc, that 30% of her HP shield. Thankfully, I had my ult there as well, which helped take that down, so hopefully you guys can get your ult as well. But that's pretty much it, guys. Again, you want to try to kill the spiders that they summon as well, but any champion pretty much has AoE skills, so you can kind of rely on your AoE champions to take them down. But as you can see with my Cassie, we're easily taking her down. I was getting low on time, so I soul linked my Cassie. And then that was it. Once I beat her, that was it. As long as you aren't on the clone, then you'll be Gucci to go. So hopefully that helped you guys. A little bit long, but just kind of going through it all. You can skip certain parts, of course. I'm probably going to try to break this up for you guys to make it a little bit easier to see which stages you're struggling on within this dungeon. But yeah, this was a comment from a viewer, so big shout out to them. They said they wanted to see this, and I figured now's a good time because this will help you get some light and dark scrolls. You got to get past this boss in order to get past all the other bosses. Which, speaking of that, we're going to be releasing a little mini series on all of these bosses. I'm going to have the videos come out relatively rapidly, as this is new content that I'm sure you guys want to get through super quick. So we'll try to get those out for you as soon as possible. So be sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss a video of a dungeon that you are stuck on. Shadow, do you have anything?
Nope.
All right, we appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.